First time I've been on a train in Czech Republic. Last time it was on buses. That's new to me, this is. So heading out of Prague today, heading to Olomouc in Moravia. Just arrived in Olomouc, 2.5 hours just under. There's no there. Just more plain, functionalist style. So wandered up to the old town. See the spires up ahead. I just arrived in the main square of Olomouc, Horny Nam Yesti, Renaissance Town Hall, different coat of arms. So it's the 6th largest city in Czech Republic, but it's got the 2nd largest conservation zone outside of Prague, obviously. Just hard to miss on the main square is the Holy Trinity column. It's actually a World Heritage Site. It was constructed between 1716 and 1754. It's like a celebration of the Catholic faith and partly as gratitude for ending the plague, which struck in about 1713, 1715. It's 35 metres tall. Just below the column, looks almost like a church. It is in fact like a little chapel inside, though it doesn't look like you can get in at the moment. A small sort of altar. And this sort of highly decorative Rococo style. Flames, urns, like the cherubs all around as well. Olomouc also has its own astronomical clock, like Prague. On the side of the town hall in like a little niche. As you get closer you'll notice there's quite a difference. For starters, it actually looks much bigger, no doubt about that. The original clock here was constructed in the 15th century apparently, but got changed over the years in the 19th century in 1926 I believe, and then got destroyed in the final days of the Second World War, May 1945, as the Nazi troops were retreating. And so this clock's actually done in the socialist realist style in 1955. Instead of ecclesiastical figures you see like the workers, scientists, proletariat figures that come round on the hour at noon. As well as the mosaic, like the engineers and scientists, you've got normal workers, one with a scythe there, and women at the top of the mosaic, in like traditional, presumably Moravian tresses. And the clocks themselves almost look like dials on a machine or some sort of engine. The guy who made it as well, Karol Slavinsky, actually says 1953 on there. It must have been when he started. Apparently it's got International Communism Day date on one of the dials here, as well as Stalin's and Lenin's birthdays. You've got a plaque on the ground tells you originally 1419, 1421. Everyone in Prague, arguably at least. This bit of a classical guitar. There's a wander back down to the centre. There's be a lot of museums around this part, end of the town. There's a duo going on. It's actually a university town, so during the time when the students are back for the term, it's supposed to be, busy, lively place to be. And it's priced a lot cheaper than Prague. It's on the other side of the country. And a wine bar is it? Yeah, Merlot. Interesting little church. It's like a miniature version of like a Baroque cathedral. Got churches in these cities, towns throughout Czech Republic. I believe, I was reading that not many Czechs nowadays, modern Czech Republic, actually identify as any sort of denomination or religion, Christianity or otherwise. You still obviously get them, but not as many these days, so doesn't seem to hold as an important place now. Kind of strange, like you almost have to go in and then up steps. Chapel of John Sarkander, priest martyred in 1620, built on top of a prison and replaced later on with neo-Baroque chapel design. Clearing up, so it should be quite a nice evening. Even the priest is out on his little bike. Might go here actually. I don't think I've ever had Nepalese food before. Smell the spices, really strong. It smells good actually. It's really good. To be honest, I felt a bit quiet, sleepy when I first came here, but it's really coming alive now, I think. Arcade, is it full of bars, is it? Stops. Escobar, Pilsner Urkel, can't go wrong with a bit of Pilsner Urkel. Interesting Czech language. Like whole words without any vowels in it. I have what's called a hat check, which is like a R and J sounds sort of rolled into one. Apparently even a lot of Czech native speakers have difficulties pronouncing it. Still believe it's the Czechs that rank as the #1 in the world for the most alcohol consumed, most beer consumed annually. Seem to come out on top every year. It's going to be a Marie Curie, hasn't it? And I think that's King Wenceslas. With a selfie stick, it appears. Hostel is good actually. It's reasonable price and very swanky, very posh. Nice showers and facilities. It's actually like a restaurant, meeting event space and cafe, all part of the same complex. It's much swankier and nicer than my own home. There's Gustav Mahler, something to do with him. Domnia. Theatre was musical director, I'm guessing. Debney music, I believe that is. Gustav Mahler. Now part wine bar. Seems to be the fish symbols everywhere, trout symbols. Connection to the city. So Olomouc has 6 Baroque fountains in all apparently, and one down there. I think installed in 2002. Each represent a figure from mythology: Hercules, Neptune, Caesar, Mercury, Jupiter and the Triton. And apparently they were kept, rather than the city getting rid of them, they were kept in case of any fires. There's like a source, like a reservoir of water in case of any fires, so that they could get obviously to any burning buildings much more quickly, snuff out any fires. This one here, can't tell if it's been spray painted or not. Like the coat of arms there, like a phoenix or some sort of like firebird. The first of fountains, the Neptune one, was built in 1683 and the last one in 1727. And all that time, that Holy Trinity column just around the corner, other side of the town building, was being built. Neptune fountain is just down on the lower square, Dolny Náměstí, just off the left here. about 38 years to construct, apparently. Is the original architect. His son, Wenzel Render, died during building reconstruction of it. So his other sort of proteges took over, and then they died before it was finished. So a few people have had a hand in designing it over the 38 years. Apparently a lot of the sculptures are designed by someone called Andrei Zana. I don't know who that is. Someone's shackled. I believe they're supposed to be like different patron saints. Like the lower one's local saint. I think I missed the best bit, the hen going off. You probably just heard it at the end there. Model relief of the old town city itself. Gives names as well, dates. Obviously we're here. Leicester Square here, Neptune's fountain, Jupiter's fountain. Václav Church. It's like a sort of mix of Romanesque tower and a sort of typical Lutheran church design. This is one of the more original churches in the city in terms of what's survived over the years, over the centuries. Got like the dragon head spouts as well, like you've got on the side of the town hall, but these are made from stone masonry work rather than copper. One praying passionately, the others look bored out their minds, asleep. You go up like a tower here. Model there. Stained glass window, like huge altarpiece. Guess that's probably Baroque era, at least. A nice vaulted ceiling. An impressive organ as well. You've got all like cherub sculptures all over it. I don't think I've ever seen it like that before. The old confession boxes. The 11th century rotunda in the Czech settlement. So second Romanesque church, Gothic building is finished. But it says the oldest part of the cathedral is 1412, so I think that'll be a bit later than Romanesque by a few hundred years. Fire in 1709, so we've got Baroque makeover. I think that's where it gets more of the Lutheran look. Originally Romanesque church. Doesn't actually seem to be a charge to go from this tower, just a donation requested. Trying to rock me open this tiny door. Short people in those days. There's a viewpoint from the town hall and main square, but I couldn't seem to find it, so I thought it was probably better this one. Be less busy and you get a view onto the actual town hall and the rest of the main square. With like a shell or a conch. It being a sort of a Fibonacci design. Confusing because people, it must be the other way around, so you're going around in a cylindrical, so I wondered why I hadn't passed them then. It was like a sort of mirror or something. Obviously it goes down, it's like a helix, I didn't realise at first. It's quite cool the way he designed that. It's like a one-way system, you go down the other way, don't pass the people. They confused me a bit at first. The old attic. In the attic of the main part of the church itself. Bells. I think they said they installed these ones in 1985. main square. You're actually higher than you'd be in the tower as well. Town hall, if you're up there. Quite a nice view of the surrounding hills, Moravian hills. Whereas Bohemia is more synonymous with beer. Moravia is more known for its wine. And that's the Hradiško, probably got the name wrong, monastery just up the river there. A big monastery just outside the town. You really get a better sense of how tall the Holy Trinity monument really is. People just below in comparison size-wise. And the top of the monument higher than the main part of the roof of the building of the Old Town Hall. And you've got all the typical multicoloured, I'm guessing 80s style blocks. Most of the people probably live in just on the outskirts of the city centre. It's like about the old town walls. The building looks like it's almost been built on top of what was originally town walls or some sort of fortification. It looks very similar to the rest of the walls there. Looks like they just built stories on top, like apartments or something. A bit unusual. Jupiter fountain. I believe the least oldest of the Baroque fountains here in Olomouc. Very quick visit to the Archbishop's Palace. See just at the end of the road there, the facade. If I remember correctly, constructed in the 15th century. It's all the way back there as well. The interesting sgraffito decoration on the upper floor. I'll have to drop by the St. Wenceslas Cathedral before I go. Can't miss it. Got the Romanesque Bishop's Palace there. Interesting, juxtaposed at the sort of neo-Gothic. I think it was mainly designed in the 19th century. A couple of older parts to it, but 19th century edition. Looks a little bit like Westminster Abbey almost, the front facade. Apparently the site of the assassination of St. Wenceslas III. I'm going to have to dash off back to the bus station now. Hopefully found the bus. Would have been nice to spend an extra night or so in Olomouc. Always a good reason to come back to places.